Welcome to Bear Attack Files. Dawn in Groom Creek, just south of Prescott, Arizona. The light is thin and gold, needling through tall ponderosa pines. A hammer rests on a sawhorse beside a cabin in progress, fresh lumber, a coffee mug leaving a dark ring on raw plywood. It's June 16, 2023. 66-year-old Stephen Jackson sits for a moment of quiet before the workday. He doesn't know that, just beyond the tree line, a shadow is moving with the silent certainty of an apex omnivore. There's no huff, no bluff charge, no warning. The bear erupts from the timber and slams into him, a shock of muscle and weight. The mug flips, coffee arcs, and the morning splits into panic and noise. Stephen fights, but the bear has momentum. It drags him off the building site and down the embankment. Yards of pine duff shredding under claws, bark scraping skin, breath torn ragged from a chest that can't catch up to the violence happening to it. Neighbors hear screams. Someone leans on a vehicle horn. Another shouts. None of it breaks the spell of the attack. The bear doesn't spook. It doesn't even look up. This is not a startled swat and retreat. This is focused, intent, unprovoked. Across the road, David Montano jolts awake to pounding on his door, a voice through wood and fear. The bear has Stephen. Grab your gun. Adrenaline floods the body with tunnel vision clarity. He takes off at a dead sprint, 50 yards, maybe more, crashing through brush toward the sound no one in a quiet mountain neighborhood ever expects to hear. A man fighting for his life. He crests the slope and sees it, an adult black bear on top of Stephen. Time tightens to a pinpoint, rifle to shoulder, sight on target. The shot cracks and folds the forest back into silence. The bear drops. For one suspended heartbeat, it seems like the world has been put back where it belongs. Then the truth lands with brutal weight. Stephen is already gone. News ripples out. Yavapai County deputies, paramedics, wildlife officers. It takes hours for comprehension to catch up. A fatal black bear attack in Arizona is rare. So rare that officials call it highly unusual, the kind of case that sits outside the patterns they know. There was no campsite food, no visible attractant, no habitual garbage raider conditioned to people. Just a healthy bear and a man with a cup of coffee on a quiet morning. The kind of scene that makes even seasoned officers shake their heads and say, "This one doesn't fit." Days later, state wildlife biologists put the bear on a necropsy table. Measurements are clinical. An adult male, 7 to 10 years old, 365 pounds. Fat reserves normal, muscles full, teeth intact. No parasite load of note, no disease, nothing to explain the attack. The data reads like a riddle. Not starving, not sick, not injured, just strong. The one variable you can't biopsy is intent. Predation is inferred from behavior, not blood work. When a bear does not bluff, does not break off, does not flee from yelling and honking, and remains locked on a person despite human commotion, investigators use words they hate using. Predatory. A year passes. David walks those woods and can still point to the slope, the line of pines, the exact patch of earth where his life split into before and after. He tells a local reporter the images still come back unbidden. The sprint, the sight picture, the shot, the terrible quiet after. Communities knit themselves back together with routine. Trash day, trail runs, kids on bikes. But in Groom Creek, the morning soundtrack now includes a mental checklist. Latch the bin, scan the woods, carry deterrent, carry what you're legally allowed to carry. Tranquility remains, but it's earned, not assumed. For those of us trying to understand why, the case forces a sober truth. black bears are usually wary, mostly opportunistic, and often dissuaded by people. Usually, mostly, often are comforting words until they aren't. Even species with low rates of aggression can exhibit outlier behavior. Officials kept repeating it in interviews. This wasn't the typical dumpster diver turned camp raider. This was the second fatal black bear attack in Arizona in decades, and nothing about the bear's condition explained it. Nature is not a contract. It's a probability curve with a tail that's easy to forget until it whips around. So, what do we do with a story like this? One that defies the neat cause and effect we crave. We start with respect, which isn't fear, it's literacy. In bear country, the smallest habits stack into the difference between a routine sighting and a crisis. Keep attractants locked: trash, pet food, coolers, even the scent-impregnated wrappers we toss without thinking. Create predictable, no-reward landscapes around homes and cabins, electric fencing for livestock, or beehives where legal, bear-resistant containers where available, motion lights that break the surprise. On the trail, carry bear spray where permitted, holstered and accessible, and know how to deploy it fast. Safety off, aim low, sweep a wall. Make noise when visibility is low. Keep dogs leashed or under tight voice control. Many bad bear encounters begin with a dog racing ahead and bringing a bear back to you. And hear this part clearly. Firearms can be decisive in a worst-case scenario, as David's rifle undeniably was. But they are not a magic shield. They demand training, judgment, and, critically, an understanding of the local laws that may restrict or prohibit their carry. The right answer in backcountry reality is redundancy. Awareness first, spray ready, and, where legal and if competent, a firearm as a last resort. General best practices distilled from state and federal bear safety guidance. The Groom Creek case underscores their stakes. Reconstructing Stephen's final morning with humility matters. Reports place him seated, coffee in hand, beside a structure in progress. No camp kitchen laid out, no open trash. That detail is what shakes professionals. It means you can do most things right and still meet the slim edge of risk. When you live or work at the wildland-urban interface, you're not in suburbia with pines. You're in a living food web. If a bear's calculus shifts, for age, for the season, for unknown reasons, you may become a test case. That's not to terrify you out of the woods, it's to tune your senses. Scan without paranoia, plan without bravado. Accept the responsibility that comes with the view. If you're a neighbor like David, the scenario drills down to 3 actions: recognize, respond, recover. Recognize the screams, the horn blasts, the signals that something isn't normal. Respond with the tools you have and the ones you've trained to use: bear spray, air horn, phone for 911, and, if you're both lawful and capable, a firearm. And recover, because whether the outcome is a narrow save or an irreversible loss, the mind will replay it. Communities need to rally around the Davids as much as the victims' families. Stepping into a nightmare scene changes the rescuer, too. In the official record, the lines will remain spare. 66-year-old male, Groom Creek area, adult male black bear, 365 pounds, 7 to 10 years old, unprovoked. Neighbor shot bear, victim deceased at scene. The report closes, the woods go on breathing, elk pass through at dusk, ravens gossip in the heat of the day. But for the people who live with those trees outside their windows, the morning of June 16th will always hum under the quiet like a low, persistent wire. Some will move away, most will stay. They'll lock the bin, they'll carry spray, They'll learn the difference between a grunt and a huff, a bluff charge and a committed one. And they'll keep living on that edge we all romanticize until it reminds us it's real. This is Bear Attack Files. Stories like Stephen Jackson's aren't told to sensationalize the wild. They're told to respect it, to honor a neighbor whose morning coffee became a cautionary tale, and to give the rest of us a better chance at coming home. If this story moved you or taught you something, please subscribe, leave a comment, and share this video with a loved one or a friend. Stay aware out there, and we'll see you in the next one.